Cyberbullying is more common than you think. The consequences can be horrible. For instance, an 11-year-old girl committed suicide in Florida last year after being targeted as a victim. The death of that young girl affected another student in such a way that she took action. Meet TRISHA, PRABHU.
It was just a normal fall day in 2013. I was coming home from school, and I always hop on the internet after my school day. And I saw this story about this young girl named Rebecca Sedgwick, who was 11 years old. And she had jumped off of her town's water tower to her death, all because she had been cyberbullied. And reading that story, I was just shocked. It just seemed unacceptable to me that this girl that was 2 years younger than myself had committed suicide, all because she'd been cyberbullied endlessly by her classmates. And I don't think up to that point I didn't realize, what a big problem cyberbullying was. But when I read Rebecca's story, I was just touched. And I think in that moment, I decided I needed to do something to stop this from ever happening again.
She has been writing computer code since she was 10. She applied that skill and set out to develop a software program to help in the fight against cyberbullying. It would give students the ability to reconsider what they were about to post on the internet. A last chance before hitting the send button.
Rethink is an anti-cyberbullying software program, and what it does is it's able to effectively detect when someone posts something offensive on social media, and then alert them and give them an alert message that says, hey, hold up, are you sure you want to post this message? It could be offensive. And so I actually ended up conducting a 1,500 trial Google acclaimed study as to whether this concept really works. And what I found is that over 93% of the time, adolescents actually change their mind when they get a rethink alert. And so it's really just as simple as giving people a few seconds to think through what they're about to post or what they're about to say. And they immediately realize this isn't worth going on the internet. And that's exactly the response we were looking for.
One has to wonder, how does it work? How can a program know what the brain is trying to communicate? TRISHA cracked the code on the logic behind Rethink.
So that's always a common question I get, right? Like, what is offensive? How are you able to determine that? So there's two parts to that. One part is keywords that are always going to be offensive, right? There's some words that no matter what context you use them in, I don't care, it's going to be offensive. But there are other situations, like if I were to post something like, gosh, I hate this weather. Not really offensive. And so what we do is we have smart sentiment analysis and context-sensitive filtering in our software. So it's able to actually look at the context of a situation when you post something on social media and make a smart decision.
TRISHA says Rethink is now available for everyone. She points out that the program is not just student-friendly, but parent-friendly.
So you can find out more about Rethink at rethinkwords.org. You can find out more about how to download it for your school. You can find out more how to download it for your child. So no matter where you are in the world, you can download Rethink for your child's phone, for your child's computer. What you can do essentially is make sure that even when you're millions of miles away, essentially, and it feels like that, I'm sure, you know that you essentially have a careful eye over what your son or daughter is doing on social media without being too overbearing. It's a very common comment I get from kids as well. It feels like my parents are trusting me, but it also doesn't feel like, they're nowhere in the picture.
But what about students who are today's victims of cyberbullying? TRISHA offers advice. Victims are not alone.
If you're being cyberbullied, I get that feeling. Feeling alone, feeling scared, feeling embarrassed, not wanting to talk to anyone about it, but all that will do is make you spiral further downwards, and that's not something you want for yourself, for your family, for your friends. So what I'd encourage anyone who's being cyberbullied to do is talk to your parents or to your guardians or close adult. And as scary as that might seem, it will do wonders. Because right now, you look at the statistics, 90% of adolescents don't tell anyone that they're being cyberbullied. And that's the reason that these kids suffer from low self-esteem, depression, and eventually suicide. Speak up, talk to your parents. They are there for you, they will help you, they love you more than anything. They just want the best for you. So speak to them. Also, find a way to block the users that are trying to cyberbully you. We understand that that's not always the most effective solution, and that's why we have Rethink as a more proactive solution to stop the cyberbullying before it happens. And talk to your parents about Rethink. Talk to your parents about new innovative solutions that can help stop cyberbullying, and reach out to your friends, and I'm sure they'll be there for you. Take that first step. I know it's hard, but be brave. And help is always there.
Bullying in any form, physical or by computer, can take a heavy toll on friends, families, and even entire classes. Using the right tools to stop bullying can be effective, but there is a minimum requirement: getting involved. That is perhaps the most effective tool of all. As TRISHA says, you can be a hero.